Good evening, coming to you from the home office tonight. Just starting to wind down for the evening. E and I are flying solo this week. Mel's out of town, so yeah, it's been fun making sure we keep each other on our toes, making sure we're in the right places at the right time, dressed appropriately, fed and watered. I think we're just about surviving and getting through it together. But super fun spending time with him. Had soccer training this evening, and now we've just got him down to bed, finished some work, and then I'll need to crash myself. It was Mel and my 14-year wedding anniversary yesterday. Crazy. It's been an awesome adventure, amazing journey so far, and yeah, best friend and super supporter, and she's been awesome. And so excited for many more years to come. But we're celebrating by being apart. So I'm sure we'll get to celebrate at some point. Tonight, I just wanted to chat to you about resilience. We spoke about personal resilience at the weekend, but today I think based on what's going on around the world, energy resilience needs to be front of mind for businesses and communities around the world. You know, we woke up this morning to the news that Cuba, 11 million people had no access to power. They've certainly had challenges over the last few months. You know, aging energy infrastructure, the grid has had issues. They had a fire at one of their oil terminals. Cost of energy, like fuel, has obviously gone through the roof. So they're already having blackouts, and then the hurricane came through and knocked out a lot of their infrastructure, which is devastating. So a lot of people without power, which is very unsafe, very unhealthy, and obviously brutal for people's lives and business continuity. I believe Florida, there are already over 2 million people without power this evening, and I'm sure when we wake up in the morning, it'll be a lot worse than that. Puerto Rico was hit 2 weeks ago. There's many people still without power there. E.Canada was even affected. And so you're seeing it's not just island nations, it's not just developing nations. We've got energy resilience issues in Europe. We had issues in the western states with the heat wave a few weeks ago. And I think this is really going to bring our energy security, our energy sovereignty, our energy resilience really into focus, because it's super critical. We're electrifying everything. We need a safe, secure, cost-effective, and really reliable and resilient way of ensuring that people have access to energy. It's the lifeblood of our communities and economies. I think for a lot of businesses, particularly the larger corporations, the energy transition, the easy bits have been done. You know, there's been a lot of marketing around being carbon neutral, deploying renewable energy assets, but a lot of it is mainly buying carbon offsets or buying offsite PPAs, power purchase agreements. And for those that aren't aware, you know, a lot of the corporates who say they're now 100% renewable, they may have a manufacturing facility in, say, California, and they will buy a power purchase agreement from someone who will build a solar or wind farm in, say, Texas, and then on paper, they will sell them that energy. The actual manufacturing facility doesn't get that energy. The electrons can't even be transported from Texas to California. The grids aren't connected. But on paper, they are buying that clean energy. Meanwhile, they are taking energy off the grid from whatever source it's being developed, whether it's coal, gas, solar. I think the key to this is if the local transmission or distribution line is impacted or that central power plant goes down, that business still loses power, even though they're buying clean power on paper. And obviously carbon credits don't provide any resilience at all. And so we're seeing this devastation and grids around the world. And the last thing we want to do is just go back in there and try and reconstruct the existing traditional aging grid, because we have single point of failures. Lots of people can be without power as a result of these storms, these heat waves, squirrels climbing into substations. It doesn't take much to knock out power to a lot of people. I just wrote an article this week about the smarter grid that's being built and how that's bringing a bit more resilience to the traditional grid, but it's likely still not enough. And so I think a lot of businesses in particular and communities now need to be thinking about how they really deeply explore distributed energy assets, microgrids, on-site energy systems. It's certainly our belief at Vector that these systems where we build the energy asset at the location it's needed, and we put a combination of technologies together, often with a controller, we can design a system specific to a business objective, to a location, to their energy use needs, and we can use a combination of technologies, whether it's solar, storage, gas, in some cases diesel, fuel cells, electric vehicles. We can combine these technologies to provide a resilient energy system. And often in the process, it's cheaper than buying energy from the utility and the grid, and it's often cleaner. So it becomes a win-win. We don't believe that sustainability and resilience has to come at the cost of profitability. Meanwhile, I think it's becoming very obvious that losing power has a huge impact on people's businesses and communities. First of all, it's a safety issue, especially for aging homes, hospitals, businesses. To lose power, it comes at a huge cost from a personal perspective and from a revenue perspective. Losing product, having downtime, having to bring facilities back online, and simply, people in the community not being able to even access the business because they don't have energy in their own places that they live. So energy resilience is becoming super important. And so I'd encourage businesses around the world to take a good hard look at their portfolios and think about their energy security position. How are they ensuring business continuity? And certainly that's what we've focused on being able to help them with, being able to support you to look at your portfolio, assess where you can get the greatest return on investment, customize an energy system to your specific facility needs and objectives, and then support you to be able to go to market and procure that system through a competitive and transparent marketplace. So we're trying to simplify what is a very complex landscape, enable you to accelerate solutions because we don't want to be waiting years to deploy them. And it's, with adversity comes opportunity, and the people who embrace this and are able to run their businesses through whatever conditions are thrown at them will thrive. And I'd also say, I think it's worth us considering when we're putting in these systems, how can we also think about the community? Several years ago, I worked with Eugene Water and Power, and they put solar and storage on one of their local schools to ensure it was a community resilience center. So if there was ever a power outage that affected the community, people could come to that school and get access to energy, water, and have somewhere safe to spend time. So how can we think about businesses also potentially being able to offer community resilience locations, and ensuring that their employees are safe, that their families are safe, especially as we experience more and more of these severe weather events. So that's the reflection for this evening, a bit longer than usual, but a super important topic, really sad news around the world. Heart goes out to everyone being impacted by the hurricanes, let's work together to create a thriving, sustainable and profitable future for us all. And I think there is no silver bullet, but on-site energy can really go a long way to ensuring more cost-effective, resilient and sustainable solutions, and accelerating the energy transition. So with that, give it some thought, reach out if you've got any questions. If you've got business needs, give us a shout, and love to hear your ideas, how you're thinking about resilience. And stay safe everyone. Speak to you soon. Good night.